Jake, as you've had time now to go back and reflect on last season, what do you attribute the decline in production to?
Yeah, I mean, I really think it was just a few kicks here and there. Yeah, I mean, confidence is a huge part of being a kicker, obviously. And when things aren't going that well, sometimes you lose that a little bit. And it was a battle all last year to just kind of try to climb back up and find that all year. So it was a process day in and day out, and I think I had a really good offseason to try to kind of look back on some of that stuff and how can I eliminate a few things here, fewer swing thoughts. It's kind of like a golfer. You go back, you find some swing thoughts, and you just build on that.
What's the balance, I guess, between maybe wanting to change things because you didn't get the results, but also trusting the process that you've had before?
Yeah, I mean, you got to know what works. I mean, I got here for a reason. So you kind of go back to the basics. What are you really good at? What are some things that kind of changed throughout the year? And you look at that, you correct it, and move forward.
Jake, how is this camp different than last camp? It doesn't seem like you're doing as much kicking.
Yeah, maybe not in your eyes. We're doing a lot of work off on the side. Yesterday was a really heavy day for me. As kickers and punters, I think a lot of you guys know you just can't do it every day. It's like pitching. So I had a heavy day yesterday. We got a lot of really good work in, and we'll probably have a bigger day tomorrow as well.
Last year was kind of like a battle, to overcome all this confidence or whatever. Like, what have you been able to do, like, during this off season to kind of get all that back?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of going back, looking at what maybe went wrong in certain areas and what went right in others. I think a lot of the year I really actually hit the ball really well. But you go back and watch it, and you go back to the basics. I mean, like I said, I went and worked with a couple coaches, kind of got their eyes on me, and we worked together. What I like, what they like, shorten the steps up just a little bit. I'm getting really technical here, but found some things I like. I found a really good rhythm and hitting the ball well.
How much does it take to get that rhythm with a new holder?
It's been a pretty seamless transition. Aaron's done a really good job. I would say with Tyler Brown coming in, we've got a lot of really good work. Kind of get his eyes on some things and really handled that well and knocked it out pretty quickly. So I feel really, really good about it.
Jake, you talked about us publicly. You've been very accountable over the years. How do you stay mentally, in tune with what you need to do when you are such a big critic of yourself?
I mean, that's my job. I grew up as a big tennis player. I've always been in a lot of individual sports where the accountability is nowhere else but yourself. So I've always been good at that. I've always had a pretty even head on my shoulders, and I don't know. It's just who I am.
What did you working with in the off season? You mentioned Jake.
I'm sorry, who? You said?
Who were you working with coaching wise in the off season? And also Tyler, obviously his dad has been working with maybe the best kickers. How much has he helped?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, a couple guys I've worked with, Jamie Cole, who's a very prolific kicking coach across the nation, and then I have a coach back home, Chris Nundick, that I've worked with. So I've had a couple sets of eyes, and kind of you take what you like from each of them, and you move forward. And then, like you said about Tyler, he's obviously had a lot of experience. He's been around it for a really long time, around a lot of really good kickers. So having an extra set of eyes just always helps. He's kind of like a caddy out there for me. So when I want something, I ask for something. When I don't, he kind of leaves it alone and lets things kind of smooth sail.
Hey, Jake, what do you need to get away from it? I mean,
after every season, I think I do, whether it's good or bad. You kind of just get away from it a little bit, reset the mind, and come back focused.
What did you learn about, like, if you have a miss this year, which will probably happen at some point, what did you learn about how to handle it, how to move forward? I mean, it's something you've always been pretty good at.
Yeah.
What have you learned about kind of moving forward?
I think it's the same process I've always had. I've always kind of had this little 1 minute rule in my head. It's kind of cliche, but I give myself a minute when I make a kick to enjoy it. I give myself a minute when I miss a kick to kind of what went wrong here, talk it over, maybe just think about it to myself and move on, make the correction, and move forward.
Did you lose some of that last year, or because when you talk about confidence, that's letting things linger, maybe?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, even when you look at last year, when I did miss a kick in a game, it didn't happen again that game. So, not that I can recall, maybe I'm speaking out of tune, but I think I move on pretty quickly. It's tough, but that's part of the gig.
Talking to us this spring about the competitions he was doing, Nick Sirianni mentioned you in particular as he said don't play ping pong against you, and he said you stood out. And then what in particular did you excel at kind of in the competitions behind the scenes here?
I don't know. I mean, I've always been a man of all trades, kind of done it all growing up. So ping pong, basketball, bags, cornhole, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I enjoy it.
At ping pong in this building?
To be honest, we haven't played a whole lot during training camp yet, but me and the new punter Sip have some pretty good games.
A lot of teams bring in a young kicker for to either push or at least give you some time off during camp and in the preseason. What do you like about running unopposed from a stylistic standpoint and a preparation standpoint? But also, what are the cons in having all of that work, if there are any?
I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of pros in it for sure. I think just having that kind of uninterrupted focus and time with the other two guys, I think that's pretty invaluable. You gotta get reps in. You gotta spend time with the guys. So just having us three here is a good staple, and it works.
How does Sip look as a punter?
He's awesome. He's awesome. He's done a great job coming in. Really consistent, really good directionally. Hangs the ball up there. I mean, it's everything you can ask for in a punter.
What about as a holder? I mean,
He's been unbelievable. He's been great. Really seamless transition. Like I said, he works at it really hard. Having Tyler come in and kind of get the eyes on it too, just little changes here and there. I mean, he's been outstanding.
Hey,
Getting
Jake,
back
do you
to what
learn
Nick
more?
said,
Do you learn-
Go ahead.
Nick said you were great at everything. So I've seen you play softball, your golf trick shots, ping pong.
Mm-hmm.
Everything with a swing you're pretty good at. Does that help you when it comes to kicking? Is it all
Yeah, I think it all kind of correlates. I mean, it's hand-eye coordination. It's being able to time things up. I mean, golf swing, hitting a tennis ball, everything. It's kind of the same deal. So I just grew up with an athletic background and kind of all translated.
Do you learn more from watching your makes or your misses?
That's a tough question. Probably watching the makes because I'm watching what I want to do, right? You see a rep that looks really good and you try to repeat that. But you got to watch them both because you got to see what goes wrong and what your tendencies are here when this happens, why it happens, and then go back to trying to correct it.
You posted a few times this offseason of you guys getting together at various places. How often do you get together, and where in particular do you guys go?
Wherever we can find an open field. It's tough in the off season. We went over to Penn and Temple and some local high schools over in Jersey, whatever. But kind of just depends. We work around each other's schedules. Obviously, we take some breaks here and there, but started getting together, especially closer to camp, like 3-4 times a week.
It's an odd question, but like, do people recognize you guys when you're there? Like, do they realize you're
So
that's
the perk of going to Penn or Temple is you're kind of uninterrupted over there. But yeah, I mean, you get some local high school guys out there sometimes, and it's fun because sometimes they'll hop in and shag balls for you, and it's fun for them and it's fun for us.
Jake, a feeler for you. Did you keep up with kind of Gainwell when he was at Memphis, and what type
Oh,
of
yeah.
weapon? What
Yeah.
type of weapon do you think he could be? Obviously,
I mean,
tennis kicks here.
He's extremely versatile, that's for sure. I think you saw that at Memphis. He's explosive. He can return the ball. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He can line him up wherever you want, really. So it was fun to watch him when he was there, and I was definitely excited when I heard his name.